The Varathian combat arena had stood for 3,000 cycles, a monument to galactic supremacy. Beneath its crystalline dome, champions from 100 worlds had fought, bled, and died. The arena's sand had drunk the blood of Krolic berserkers, Zenthari blade masters, and Thexian war priests. But never, in all those long cycles, had it tasted human blood. Commander Zixthor of the Hegemony Council watched from his observation platform as the latest tribute world prepared to offer its champion. Earth, they called it. A backwater planet on the Orion Arm, barely worthy of notation in the galactic records. Its dominant species had only achieved faster than light travel 2 generations ago, stumbling into a cosmos that had been civilized for millennia. "Bring forth the human," Zixthor commanded, his translator converting his chittering language into the arena's common tongue. The crowd of 70,000 beings erupted in anticipation. Holographic displays flickered to life across the arena, showing odds and statistics. The human was given a survival probability of 0.03%. Its opponent, the reigning champion Korvax the Unchained, had defeated 47 challengers without sustaining a single wound. The gates groaned open. What emerged was not what the crowd expected. No towering beast of muscle and rage, no creature bristling with natural weapons. Instead, a figure barely 2 meters tall walked calmly onto the blood-soaked sand. The human wore no armor, only a simple gray uniform. Its skin was soft, unscaled, vulnerable. No claws tipped its fingers, no fangs protruded from its mouth. It carried no weapon. The arena fell silent. "Is this a jest?" Zixthor demanded, leaning forward on his platform. "Where is their warrior?" The human looked up at him with eyes that seemed to hold something the commander couldn't quite identify. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen," the human said calmly, her voice amplified across the vast space. "United Earth Defense Force, I'm here." Laughter rippled through the crowd, cruel and dismissive. The Krolic delegation roared their approval. The Thexians hissed in amusement. Surely this fragile creature would provide at least momentary entertainment before Korvax tore it apart. The opposite gate exploded outward. Korvax emerged, 3 meters of scaled fury, his forearms ending in claws that could shear through starship hull plating. His species had conquered 17 worlds through sheer physical dominance. He had personally slain over 300 opponents in various arenas across the galaxy. He looked at the human and snarled, revealing rows of crystalline teeth. "You insult me with this offering, Council." Captain Chen didn't respond. She simply stood watching, calculating. Her heartbeat was steady at 72 beats per minute. Her breathing was controlled. Every muscle in her body was relaxed yet ready. The bell rang. Korvax charged, crossing the arena in seconds that would have seemed impossible for something his size. His claws reached for the human, ready to end this farce quickly. Chen moved. Not away. Toward. She slid under his first strike with liquid precision, her hand touching the sand for balance as she pivoted. Korvax's momentum carried him past her. He spun, confused by her reaction. Prey ran. Prey didn't advance. "Do you know what makes humans dangerous?" Chen asked conversationally, circling now. "It's not our strength. We're weak compared to most of you." Korvax lunged again, all 4 arms attacking in a coordinated pattern that had defeated countless opponents. Chen swayed like water, each strike missing by centimeters. Her movements were economical, beautiful in their efficiency. "It's not our speed," she continued, her voice never wavering. "Half the species here are faster." The champion roared in frustration, his attacks becoming wilder. The crowd had stopped laughing. They leaned forward, transfixed. "It's not our natural weapons. We don't have any." Chen's hand shot out, fingers extended, striking a nerve cluster in Korvax's lower left arm. The limb went momentarily numb. His eyes widened in shock. "What makes humans dangerous," Chen said, her voice hardening, "is that we're pursuit predators. We don't give up, ever. We track our prey for days. We study, we learn, we adapt." She struck again, this time at his knee joint. Korvax stumbled. "For 2 years I studied every recording of you, Korvax. Every fight, every victory. I know your patterns better than you do." The arena was absolutely silent now. 70,000 beings watched as the impossible unfolded. "We're not the strongest or the fastest or the most naturally armed," Chen said, dancing around another desperate attack. "But we're the ones who figured out how to make fire, how to make tools, how to turn our weakness into our greatest strength." Her next strike was to his throat, carefully controlled. Korvax gasped, dropping to one knee. We're the species that conquered our own world not through power but through thinking, through planning, through refusing to quit when everything said we should. Chen moved behind him, her arm wrapping around his thick neck in a chokehold that used his own arterial pressure against him. Korvac struggled, his massive strength useless against the technique that redirected rather than opposed. We're the species that looked at the stars and decided they were ours, Chen whispered in his ear. Not because we were strong enough to take them, but because we were stubborn enough to never stop trying. Korvax the Unchained, champion of the galactic arena, tapped his submission against the sand. The silence that followed was profound. Captain Sarah Chen released him and stood, offering her hand to help him up. After a moment, Korvax took it. Commander Zixthor stared down at the arena floor, his confidence in galactic supremacy shaken. Perhaps he thought they had underestimated this species called humanity. Perhaps they had confused lack of natural weapons with weakness. Perhaps they should have been more careful about which worlds they made fight for their entertainment. Chen looked up at the council platform, her expression calm but her eyes blazing with quiet defiance. The galactic arena had finally found something it couldn't predict. Something it couldn't easily categorize or dismiss. It had found the human spirit, and that spirit had refused to break. The crowd began to cheer, uncertainty mixing with newfound respect. They had witnessed something unprecedented. They had witnessed humanity,